The sky turned an angry shade of gray, like a giant fist ready to crash down on the little town of Willow Creek. Within hours, the river that had always whispered gently through the valley became a roaring monster, swallowing homes and roads. But what if I told you this story isn't about destruction? It's about how a fragmented community became an unbreakable force. When the flood hit, it wasn't just water rising, it was fear and uncertainty crashing into every heart. Streets vanished beneath muddy waves, power lines snapped, and the town's only bridge was gone. Isolation wasn't just physical, it was emotional. But instead of despair, something remarkable happened. Neighbors who barely spoke before were suddenly shouting over the chaos, coordinating rescue boats with fishing nets tied together, turning every small craft into a lifeline. They mapped out the rising water's path using old town records and local knowledge, predicting which homes would be hit next. A retired school principal used her chalkboard skills to organize volunteer teams, assigning roles from first aid to food distribution. Children collected rainwater in buckets to keep everyone hydrated when the taps stopped running. The local mechanic, whose garage was underwater, transformed his tools into makeshift engines for water pumps, battling the flood's advance. But the real breakthrough wasn't just the tools or plans, it was the trust that blossomed. People shared not only supplies, but stories, fears, and hopes, weaving a new fabric of community stronger than before. Weeks later, when the waters receded, the town stood battered but alive, not because of outside help, but because they had become each other's anchors. So, what can you take from Willow Creek? First, look around. Your community is a reservoir of strength waiting to rise. Second, use your unique skills, no matter how small they seem, to build solutions. Third, communicate openly and organize. Chaos loses power when faced with a clear plan. And finally, remember, resilience is forged not in isolation, but in connection. When life's storms hit, don't just wait for rescue. Be the reason others keep fighting. Willow Creek teaches us that even in the darkest floods, the human spirit can chart a course back to light. But the story doesn't end with the floodwaters receding. In the aftermath, the people of Willow Creek faced a new kind of challenge, rebuilding not just their homes, but their very sense of community. The destruction had left physical scars, but it had also created an opportunity for healing and growth. As the sun returned and the skies cleared, neighbors gathered in the town square, now muddy and battered, to share stories of survival and resilience. They held meetings under makeshift tents, discussing plans not only to repair roads and houses, but to strengthen the bonds that had formed during the crisis. One of the most inspiring moments came when the local church, which had served as an impromptu shelter, organized a community feast. People brought whatever food they could spare, and everyone shared meals together, breaking bread as a symbol of unity and hope. Musicians who had lost instruments to the flood sang songs from memory, their voices rising above the ruins, reminding all that culture and spirit endure, even in hardship. The town council, recognizing the power of collective effort, established a permanent emergency response committee made up of volunteers from diverse backgrounds: farmers, teachers, shopkeepers, and youth. This committee met regularly to prepare for future challenges, developing evacuation plans, stockpiling supplies, and hosting workshops on disaster preparedness. They even secured grants from the state to improve infrastructure, including reinforcing the riverbanks and rebuilding the bridge stronger than before. Children, who had been so vital during the flood by collecting rainwater and helping with supplies, were encouraged to participate in these efforts, fostering a sense of responsibility and belonging that would carry forward into their adult lives. Schools integrated lessons about environmental stewardship and community resilience into their curricula, ensuring that the next generation would be better equipped to face adversity. The local mechanic, once limited by the destruction of his garage, collaborated with engineers and volunteers to design innovative water pumps and drainage systems. His inventions not only helped with flood control, but also brought new jobs and opportunities to Willow Creek, turning a disaster into a catalyst for economic revitalization. As months passed, art and storytelling became powerful tools for healing. Murals depicting the flood and the heroism of the community adorned walls throughout the town. Writers and poets gathered to document experiences, preserving memories that served as lessons and inspiration. These creative expressions helped transform trauma into strength, allowing the people of Willow Creek to reclaim their narrative. The overarching lesson from Willow Creek is clear. Adversity can either divide or unite us. In choosing unity, the town found a wellspring of resilience that no flood could wash away. Their journey reminds us that in every crisis lies an opportunity, not only to rebuild structures, but to rebuild trust, compassion, and hope. So, when faced with your own storms, remember Willow Creek. Look beyond the immediate chaos to the potential for connection and growth. Reach out to those around you, share your skills and stories, and build networks of support. Recognize that every small act of kindness and cooperation contributes to a larger force capable of overcoming the greatest challenges. In the end, resilience is not just about bouncing back. It is about moving forward together, stronger and wiser than before. It is about lighting the way for others when darkness falls, and being the anchor that holds a community steady in the fiercest of storms. Willow Creek's story is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit and a call to action for all of us to nurture the ties that bind us, for in unity lies our greatest strength.